Good morning and welcome to an all-new Eye of the Tiger. I'm Julie Wynn.
And I'm Danielle Bennett.
This weekend, Governor Newsom signed legislation that will bring big changes to RHS students. The law mandates that high school start at 8:30 a.m. or later and middle school start at 8 o'clock or later.
For RHS students, this means start times beginning nearly an hour after the current time of 7:40. The hope with the change is to give students a little more sleep to help them tackle the school day. However, later start time also means later dismissal, which will impact sports and other after-school activities.
According to Superintendent Denise Herman, the district is taking on some of the coordination issues with changing the start time.
Well, I think along with the coming to school more rested, the two things that the research pointed to was because students come more rested and have more sleep, two things happen. One, their levels of stress go down, so much less reports of anxiety and depression and other mental health stressors when you have more sleep. And then the other thing is having more sleep and having more time to do your studies leads to higher student achievement.
Schools must implement the new start time by July 2022, meaning if the district waits until then to move the start time, current freshmen will see its effects when they are seniors.
To get some insight on how students will feel about the change, Eye of the Tiger's Jaden Miller caught up with some underclassmen and talked to them about their opinions on the new start time.
Thanks, guys. Starting fall of 2022, the school start time bill SB 328 is in full effect. I went around talking to underclassmen to gather their thoughts and opinions on the issue. What are your opinions on the new start time bill?
I don't think it's a great idea because then we'll have a later end of the day and no one wants that. And since we've already been doing this, I just think that we can get used to it for the last couple years, So at least let the whole new group of high schoolers start with a new start time.
That feels great.
Feels great?
That feels very good, yeah.
Okay. Why?
I'm just lazy, so I like to get my things together, and I like to just be ready. I don't like to not be ready, so yeah.
Do you think the later time is going to help you be more ready?
Yes, very much.
What are your guys' opinions on the new start time bill?
I think it's a great idea because I have a really hard time getting up in the morning, and I feel like it would benefit everybody to just be kind of more awake and have more time to get ready so they won't be as grumpy and actually have a decent schedule.
I personally don't like it because I know that the band doesn't get much time on the field already to practice our marching show, and so having it start at a later time, that means it's also going to end at a later time too.
What kind of challenges do you guys think that it's going to bring, after school sports and clubs?
It might make it a bit hard to do homework in clubs like that since school will start or end later due to it starting later in the day.
And what about you?
I feel like it's going to be kind of annoying. I mean, I've participated in after school sports before and they already go pretty late. So now, the school time being pushed back, it's going to be even later, about 5 o'clock. So,
Jaden Miller reporting for Eye of the Tiger. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Jaden. Continue to follow Eye of the Tiger for more information on this developing story.
In other news, the construction team placed the final beam on the new auxiliary gym last Wednesday. Members of the construction crew and several administrators, including Principal Nicholas Richter, signed the beam before the construction team set it in place. Auxiliary gym construction will now move on to its next phase. It is expected to be completed next spring.
We now go over to Kobe Estrada for sports.
Good morning and welcome to this Tuesday's edition of EOTSN. I'm Kobe Estrada. After an injury to senior running back Aaron Shima, juniors Cole Earhart and Joe Bryce have stepped up to lead the potent Tiger rushing attack as varsity football jumps out to a 5-2 start. We go to Ethan Mealy with more on the story.
This summer, Bryce attended a BYU camp where he attributes a lot of his success to. Senior quarterback Cooper Thompson believes Joe is an influence on and off the field and is always pushing his teammates, whether that be the weight room or the gridiron.
Very hardworking on and off the field and in the weight room. He's always doing his best, and he pushes everyone to do their best to help out the team.
Junior Tommy Brown concludes that Joe is a great leader and always is pushing his teammates.
Joe's just a super hardworking athlete. He's got great dedication. He's always working, trying to be the best player he can be. No matter what, I always see him being the one working. if people are slacking off, he's like a good leader and always telling people, oh yeah, hey, you need to get better, you need to work on this. But he's a good teacher, good leader. I feel like he kind of just leads by example. Like, I don't think he really got it from football. I think that's just kind of the person he is. Like, that he's just always had that.
For the full story, check out the back page of yesterday's newspaper. And in other sports news, girls volleyball lost to River Valley with a score of 3-2. This brings their lead record to 5-4. And that's all in your home for Roosevelt High School sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. Eye of the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. And now we go over to entertainment.
Thanks, Kelby. I'm here with the cast of Great Gatsby. How are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you.
Can I have you guys go around real quick, just say your name and your role?
I'm Winter Scantlin and I'm playing Daisy Buchanan. I'm Alex Clark and I'm playing Jordan Baker.
I'm Shailene Wortham and I'm playing Myrtle Wilson.
Oh, I'm Bella Chan and I'm playing Nick Carraway.
I'm Ethan Robert Jones and I'm playing Jay Gatsby.
Perfect. So can you guys tell me a little bit about the storyline for this play?
Great Gatsby is a story written by Scott Fitzgerald, who wrote about a story of Gatsby and his love story and how he is trying to be reunited with his past love, Daisy Buchanan, who is in a relationship with Tom Buchanan. And the story is told by Nick, who kind of carries it along. And it kind of shows the toxic society that was back in like the 1920s during the Great Depression. So.
Perfect. So what has been the easiest thing to rehearse? Has there been anything that's been, yeah?
Dancing. Dancing's probably the most fun.
Do you guys have a lot of dance numbers in this one?
No, but it
enough.
definitely like represents like the Charleston and all the types of 1920s style dancing. It's a great way to open the show, so yeah, it's fun.
What has been the hardest thing to rehearse?
Getting into our characters and like really just like diving in. It's super intense.
What is your guys' favorite scene to perform?
My favorite scene would probably be the one where I get to wear like this really glitzy party dress, and it's where I like encounter Nick, and it's where he first meets Gatsby at one of his big parties.
Thanks, Megan. For a complete review of the production, be sure to check out yesterday's print edition of Eye of the Tiger, found in classrooms or distribution bins around campus.
In terms of The Great Gatsby, the show will open this Thursday at 7 p.m. in the Patty Baker Theater and will run until the 26th. The cost is $10 for regular admission and $8 with an ASB card.
Competitive cupcakes sweeten this high schooler's experience as she whisks her way to a first-place prize in a local baking competition. We go to Isabella Foley with the story.
There are few things student Madison Rose is more experienced at than sifting through flour and mixing up buttercream to create the perfect baked delicacy. Her unconventional inspiration? Television.
So I've been baking for fun ever since middle school. I've always been inspired the Cupcake Wars TV shows.
Her passion led her to participate in the Placer County Fair baking competition where Rose placed first.
So I heard about the competition last year because I started following them on Instagram, and when I would go through I'd always see the baking exhibits, and I thought that looks really cool, but I didn't enter last year. So the next year I did. There's a ton of different categories. I decided to do cupcakes because that's what I like to do best.
Rose's hobby requires grit, talent, and a smidge of prioritization.
I would do it a lot, and I still do it a lot now. Instead of doing homework, I just bake something instead to procrastinate.
Rose plans to take her well-seasoned skills to more competitions and events in the future. You can find the full article in yesterday's print edition of Eye of the Tiger.
As a reminder, there will be no school tomorrow due to a professional development day. And that's it for us today at Eye of the Tiger.
And remember, we are always on at eyeofthetigernews.com. See you next time.